Was it? Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Season 3 Episode 34, Baby Hold Your Hand. Wonder who that's about. Last episode. The Soul Reapers are now facing the Stern Reiters. You have Renji facing Ishida. And Ishida of course has the upper hand. Grimjo is facing I don't know his name, man. The one that keeps running away, and then Ichigo showed up at the end there. And then who else? Mayuri and Zaraki. They're together. And they're hoping that they're gonna reach Yuhabaha first. But who knows? And then you have Hashvat always keeping an eye on Ishida and he's fighting in Wano. And I'm like, he doesn't trust Uryu. Like, I don't believe that he trusts him. So, yeah, that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, because I'm a reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting on Patreon. I appreciate the And now let's start this episode. And here we go.
Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
Oh, and this guy picking people off. Why did it stop? Kenpachi. Yeah. This is the one that sort of like crushed Yoruichi's arm, right? Oh my gosh. Was it? Didn't I say that? You did? Oh, of course you did. I feel like it's gonna come back together or something. The heck was that? You know, when I saw that, the reason why I was able to tell, well, remember that it crushed Yoruichi's arms before. During watching that episode, when it happened, I think she was about to attack Yuhabaha, and then Yuhabaha says something, and then that's when the arm got crushed. As I was watching the episode itself, I thought it was Yuhabaha's doing. It wasn't until I was editing the episode itself, which wasn't that long ago, since I've recorded many episodes in advance, and I'm just sort of slowly going through them and editing and all that. So it was, I believe it was the most recent one that I edited. So as I was editing, that's when I saw that this particular dude, after Yuhabaha said something, that's when he showed up, and then the arm thing got, her arm got crushed and everything. And I feel like what he said was the guy's name and not actually like a power of his that he was using, Yuhabaha, you know? So when I saw him here, I'm like, wait, isn't he the one that crushed Yoruichi's arms? And he just did the same thing to Zaraki. I wonder if Mayuri crying out to him, if that's what saved him, or if he actually figured it out himself. You know? Oh. You're talking about creepy? Like you're the one to talk. Mm-hmm. Wait.
なかなかだね。とっさに腕を思い出のは良い判断だったよ。筋張って味もそっけもない一山いくらの肉団子になっていたことだろうね。
What the freak?
どうなってんだこいつの能力は。
相も変わらず質問か独り言か判数々に対処する方法をこれから。
You know that.
今のは独り言だ。
おいザラキ。
Oh my god. Of course he was gonna go after it. And now your other arm. Is your other arm gonna be... What did you do?
黒土てめえ。
足そぎ地蔵強度4。
Huh?
さてと麻酔が効いて何よりだ。って麻酔が効いたということは君の力の正体もおのずと割れたことになる。
Mm-hmm.
自らの神経を敵の体に潜り込ませて動きを強制的に制御している。
Yeah.
そうは家庭はどうあれ正体が割れれば恐るるに足りんよ。
Is that all of his power, or is there something else too? Why is it crying like a baby? Oh, is it a kid? I don't know, because the cry sounds like a kid crying.
おやおや、刺したのは君のためだよ。次に君を刺す時までには足そぎ地蔵の麻痺性能をさらに改良しておくとしよう。
By the time I stab you again.
やろう。わざと隊長を突っ込ませやがったな。
相変わらずだね、そっちの隊長は。
はい、そう願います。いえ、言葉通りの意味です。
Ah. So it may not be that.
能力の正体という尊い情報を手に入れた。これがどういうことかわかるかね。奇妙なクイーンシーよ。というものは常に尊い犠牲の上にある。
Things are about to go sideways.
君はこの感動的な犠牲に敬意を表してその身を実験体として私に捧げるべきだと。
He always needs test objects.
おやおや、納得。
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What's with the eyes, man? Is it him?
なんだありゃ。
レオの左
I was about to say.
というわけか。
You know, it was reminding me of the arm that shot out of what's his name? So it's actually the left arm. Wait, was it the right arm that was, or the left? Which one controls stillness and something else controls something else?
会ったことがないからそれはわからんが、冷圧は確かに内竹から採取したものとほぼ同じ。
Ukitake, yeah. I was trying to remember.
交わしていたのがレオ。
Okay, so his was the right. Okay.
まあそんな疑問などこの喜びに比べれば些細なことだよ。
Is that Yohabaha's voice?
黒土隊長、ニヤニヤしてねえで逃げろ。この状況で何がそんなに嬉しいんだ。
Because it's all about science and stuff. Experimenting.
これが喜びでないなら一体なんだ。
左、腕、名前。
Okay, it's not Yohabaha's voice. At first I thought it was his voice.
名前。ペルンギンだ。
Pernida.
戦車は私 私であって君ではないのだから命名権は私にある。プレイとして認めてやらんこともない。むちゃくちゃ言ってんじゃん。
Me not understand what you say. You didn't know that?
悪口だったらなんだというのかね。
Another arm.
当該だ。いいね。
Coming up. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it. So that's why it was crushing arms, right? Because it's an arm? Did it splash? Kirin Kyaku? That was Mayuri, right? Pernida Pernida just... Who comes up with these names? Ay.
こっち行っていいぜ。陛下は俺らがやる。
Why are they talking like they could?
わめくな。ただの爆発反応走行だよ。
地面にはあいつの神経が。
Excuse me. Is it floating? Is that Quincy powers? Those looks like Quincy powers.
これは君らクインシーの使う空中方法。何の意味もないということだよ。神経、血管、筋肉の配置を組み替えた。久しく片腕手術をしていなかったから勘が鈍ったか。つけた指は別の左手になるのか。
Huh.
もう少し焦る。目に血が痛い痛った。
Oh.
左手は全身を司ると。
Oh, advancement. Okay.
全く素晴らしい戦いだよ。挽回。
Ooh. Ooh.
これは一体に毒をまいてあいつを毒殺するつもりだ。
だってそんなもったいないことするものかね。あ、臨月だよ。金色がしそぎ地蔵、またい福音正体。
Okay.
なんだありゃ。
I don't know.
能力は戦闘中に送り込んだ情報をもとに新たな足そぎ地蔵を生み落とす。
What the frick?
見ればわかる。
So he's about to give birth to an Ashizo so I can sort of like counter the left arm. Why are these people nasty, man? Oh, baby, Ashizo, that's all golden and stuff.
この秋に触れても地面に触れても激痛が走るわけだが。
Oh, poor baby.
あり、
Uh
君
huh.
らがこいつに神経を打ち込んでも表面一枚折りたたんで終わり。
So he has to do it like 70,000 times before he reaches the. Attack on Titan! Oh my gosh.
全身飲み込まれる前に神経を7万回打ち込めるのならね。
Mayuri's creepy, man. Him and his bunkers. Oh my goodness. But would that be enough? Baby Hoot. So that's the title. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I wonder what that's about. Baby? Should it be more like swallow your hand or something? Because he swallowed it. He didn't hold it. Well, oh, he's holding the hand inside of him. I don't know. Either way. What the heck? This episode was completely focused on Mayuri. They showed a little bit of Uryu. They showed a little bit of the guy that was firing at people, that he just suddenly stopped. Why? And it also seemed like, I don't know if it was just I know Hashvat usually keeps an eye on Uryu, but in this particular episode, it seemed like the gun dude was also keeping an eye on Ishida. Like he was waiting, like when Richie, when he was bleeding and everything, like there was this pool of blood coming out from underneath him or something or other, and then Uri was just standing over him and looking, and I believe they went from him to the guy holding the gun, and so I'm like, wait, is he waiting to see if Ishtar is gonna betray them or something or other? And then he looked like he is not gonna be betraying them, and then he pulled his gun back, and then they showed the others that was sort of like running around, and I'm like, okay, why did you stop shooting at them, like he was doing before? He was picking them off one by one, so why are you stopping right now? Like, I don't know. They also showed the Stone Ritters that want to get revenge on Baspi, and the other two that want to get revenge on Hashvat and Yuhabaha, and then they were like, we're gonna kill them, and I'm like, you're not gonna be able to, like, you're not. They're not. Okay. And then you have Zaki and Kenpachi. You have Kenpachi. I would love Kenpachi more than whatever. You have Kenpachi and Mayuri, like, making their way, right? And then this little stubby person, Sternritter, shows up, and the way it's the one that twisted Yoruichi's arm. And then Zaki's like, what is that? And he goes after it, try to cut his head or slice it or whatever. When he was getting there, and then Mayuri's like calling out to him to stop and something or other like that, and then he just jumped back, but it was sort of like too late, and his arm was the same thing as Yoruichi, but then he was like sort of like excited that he also cut his head in half and stuff, but that didn't. It just led to him sort of like growing even more, like the head going bigger or something like that. And then there was a point where the arm was sort of like twisting even more, something like that. You know what I thought was happening during that moment? And then I was like shocked. Like, if you saw my expression, I was so shocked. What I thought was happening was that, okay, the right arm, Pernida, because you could guess whatever his name, Pernida, what I thought he did was twist Kenpachi's arm, right? And then what I thought Kenpachi was doing during that moment, which like shocked me, and I had that look on my face, was that he was sort of like twisting his arm, like forcing his arm to twist, keep twisting his arm so that it goes sort of like back to normal or something. That's what I thought was happening. So I'm like, but nah, that wasn't it. He was just like cutting his arm off, because if he didn't, then his whole like body and stuff would be like, and Kenpachi and Mayuri, like, they were wondering like, well, what the heck is up with that thing and stuff. And I believe Mayuri was saying to Kenpachi that they should like take time to analyze the thing before they even think about cutting it or something or other. And Kenpachi didn't want to hear that. He just kept going to. So that's who he is. That's who Kenpachi is. His style of fighting is just like, you have he has his weapon, and he just wants to cut things, until they're dead. That's what he does. He's not there to be thinking, okay, let me try to find some kind of, let me try to analyze what's happening first before I do anything. He acts first, before anything else. So when Mayuri was telling him to, all that, I'm like, nah, he's not going to. And of course he didn't. He went straight for it. And the thing was just like his arm was his weapon was sort of like stuck inside the Pernidas, and then it was like he was just getting, and then Mayuri was like his weapon inside of him, and I'm like, what I thought was happening. Oh my goodness, what's his name? Hitsugaya. For some reason, I thought he was doing the same thing that he did to Hitsugaya. Like he felt like, okay, Kenpachi was dying, so he's gonna be sort of turn him into his zombie or something, like, or whatever. I thought that's what was happening, but no, he anesthetized. Is that the word? Sort of like immobilized him, I guess, kept him from getting destroyed and dying and stuff. And then he was facing Pernidas alone, right? And he's like, okay, because of what Zaraki did, he was staying behind and seeing what was happening as Kenpachi was facing Pernidas, right? So because of all of that, he was able to ascertain what Pernidas' power was, and it's that he can, like, his nerves into your nerves, and then just from the inside, and usually when characters think they have things figured out and then things go haywire, and that's exactly what happened. Now it was when he was taunting Pernidas about adding him to his experiment, making him an experiment subject or something or other like that. That's when he went and then turned into an arm, and then I saw the arm. I thought about they said his name this episode. Ukitake. I saw the arm. My mom went to Ukitake, but I didn't say anything. And then Mayuri said something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was thinking about that. I feel like I do that a whole lot. Like something will be happening on screen, and my mind will be going places, making certain connections, but I never say anything. I feel like I don't, because I feel like I will miss something. You're reading the captions, as you're watching. So I feel like if I want to say something, I'm gonna be distracting myself from reading what's coming up or what's on my screen. So I never say anything. Oh my gosh. So yeah, now it wasn't the Ukitake was the left arm. Now this is the right arm, and the right arm, as I said, controls advancement. And when you cut off the thing, it just turns into another arm. I'm like, y'all, you're just nasty, man. Nasty, like, so you have all these things, and they started fighting, and now there was a point where he was gonna be like sandwiched, and then this new armor or something, or other, Mayuri was wearing this new armor or something, and nothing happened to him, of course. And then he started using Quincy powers, when they were floating and stuff. He called it something or other. I don't remember what it was called. It's so difficult to remember names and stuff in this show, especially this season. Not this season, like the 1,000-Year Blood War. I think because of the German that they, I don't speak German. I only know Ich gehe nach Hause. That's all I know. Oh, and Vasa, because I try to learn German with that app. What's it called? Duolingo. I started for a little bit, and then I don't keep up with stuff. I don't know why. I get bored pretty easily. So yeah, it's hard to remember all these names and to pronounce them. So what was I saying? The right arm controls this is the left arm, right? Yeah. The left arm. Pernida is the left arm. He controls advancement or something or other like that, and the right arm is the one that controls stillness. So they were facing each other, right? And then Mayuri goes Bankai, and then he's actually so a whole lot of stuff, and he's like, okay, this one is sort of like a modified version of his Bankai that sort of like takes in data from the opponent and then basically gives birth to a new Ashiso, Jigizo, or whatever that can sort of like counter what the enemy is or is doing or whatever. I'm like, what the heck? And then you see the thing, they just open, then you see the baby Ashizo, Jigizo come out, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And then it started swallowing the arm, and I'm like, that's a nasty, like, what? That moment was so cool as well. When the right arm, what did it, I think it got into his arm or his nerve, his fingers or something, Mayuri's arm, and then he just like he rearranges his nerves, his muscles, and what. I'm like, what the heck? That was so cool. That was so cool, man. I feel like I was shocked 2 times during this episode. The first time around was with Kenpachi, when the arm was twisting and all of that, and I'm thinking, okay, he's sort of like just doing this himself to fix his arm or something. That shocked me. And then the second is like, it's not shock this time around, but sort of like amazement at seeing what Mayuri can do, and he did that in like a few seconds. You know, it was so cool. Like, it was so cool. Now I'm wondering, is the right arm actually defeated, or is something else gonna happen? Because the edit was after the Ashizo Jigizo swallowed the right arm and all of that, and then Mayuri is just like laughing, ha 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 ha, like he won. So I'm like, wait, did you actually win, or is something else gonna happen? I guess we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. And if you want to see my reaction to episode 9, the link is going to be in the pinned comment. So you can just click on it and you can check it out right now. I'll see you next time. Bye. Ashizo Jigizo. I never give up even if the night should fall. Always do my best. I look in the mirror, the king looks.